The old house stood alone, a solitary figure against the twilight sky. It was at the end of Harbinger Lane, a road seldom travelled. Weeds choked the yard, growing wild and untamed, as if nature itself sought to reclaim the land. The windows were like vacant eyes, staring out into the void, empty and soulless. They seemed to follow you no matter where you stood. The paint peeled like scabs from a wound, revealing the raw wood beneath. This was Blackwood Manor, a name that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who heard it. Locals whispered about the house, their voices hushed and filled with fear. Stories of its haunted past were passed down through generations. They said it was haunted, cursed by the spirits of those who once lived there. The house had a life of its own, a dark and malevolent presence. Some claimed to see lights flickering inside, as if the ghosts of the past were still roaming the halls, unable to find peace. Others heard screams echoing from within, chilling cries that pierced the silence of the night. It was as if the house itself was in agony. No one dared to go near, not even the bravest souls. The house was a forbidden place, a realm of darkness and despair. The house was a testament to a dark past, a history filled with tragedy and sorrow. It stood as a grim reminder of the lives it had claimed, a past shrouded in mystery and whispered rumors, tales of lost souls and unfinished business. The air around it was thick with secrets. It was a place of shadows and secrets where every corner held a story, every room a hidden truth. The walls seemed to whisper, telling tales of the past. The wind howled through the broken windows, a mournful sound that echoed through the empty halls. It was as if the house was alive, breathing and sighing. It was like the house was crying out in pain, a sorrowful wail that could be heard on the darkest nights. The very air seemed to vibrate with its anguish. This was a place of sorrow, a place of fear, a place where the past and present collided, where the living and the dead coexisted in a fragile balance. The haunted house on Harbinger Lane was more than just a building. It was a living, breathing entity, forever trapped in its own tragic history. Suman had been a kind soul. He trusted his friends. He believed in their loyalty. He was wrong. They craved his wealth. They plotted against him. They lured him to Blackwood Manor. It was a night he would never forget. They attacked him in the dead of night. They stabbed him in the back. His own friends. His blood stained the wooden floor. His screams were swallowed by the darkness. They buried him in the garden. They thought they could hide their crime. They were wrong. Their betrayal would not go unpunished. The villagers talked in hushed tones. They spoke of strange occurrences at Blackwood Manor. Lights flickered, doors slammed shut, footsteps echoed in the night. Some saw a shadowy figure in the windows. Others heard Suman's voice. He cried out for justice. He wanted revenge. The betrayers began to fear. One by one, they met with untimely ends, a fatal fall down the stairs, a sudden illness, a mysterious disappearance. Their crimes were catching up to them. The villagers knew the truth. Suman's spirit haunted Blackwood Manor. He would rest only when justice was served. Mahi was a historian. She loved uncovering the past. She scoffed at ghost stories, but Blackwood Manor intrigued her. She was drawn to its mystery. Locals warned her. Stay away, they pleaded. The house is cursed. But Mahi refused to listen. She was determined to uncover the truth. Armed with her notebook and flashlight, she entered the abandoned house. The air was heavy with dread. A chill ran down her spine, but Mahi pressed on. She was not afraid. She would face whatever secrets the house held. Section 5. Shadows and Reflections. The night was thick with an eerie silence, and the house stood like a dark sentinel against the moonlit sky. The house was dark and silent. Dust covered everything. Each step Mahi took stirred up tiny clouds of dust, making the air heavy and difficult to breathe. Cobwebs hung from the ceilings, draping the corners like ghostly curtains. Mahi explored each room, her footsteps echoing in the emptiness. She felt a presence following her, an unseen entity that seemed to watch her every move. The hairs on the back of her neck stood up. She discovered a grand mirror in the hallway, its frame ornate and covered in a thick layer of dust. Its surface was cloudy with age, reflecting a distorted version of the hallway behind her. Mahi caught a glimpse of a figure standing behind her. She spun around, heart pounding, but no one was there. She continued her exploration, her curiosity mingled with fear. The house seemed to watch her every move, its walls whispering secrets of the past. She heard whispers in the shadows, faint and indistinct, like the murmurs of long-forgotten souls. They sent shivers down her spine, a cold dread that seeped into her bones. The mirror called to her, its surface shimmering with an otherworldly light. It seemed to hold the key to the house's secrets, a portal to the unknown. Mahi felt an irresistible pull towards it, as if the mirror itself was alive, beckoning her to uncover the mysteries it held within. Section 6. Unmasking the Past. Mahi discovered a hidden room. It was tucked away behind a bookshelf. The air was thick with dust. She found old documents scattered on the floor. They were Suman's journals. He wrote about his life at Blackwood Manor. He detailed his friend's treachery. He described his own murder. The journals revealed the truth. Suman had been betrayed. His friends had killed him for his wealth. They had hidden his murder. Mahi knew she had to expose the truth. She had to bring justice for Suman. As Section 7, the mirror's secret. Mahi returned to the grand mirror. She stared into its depths. She saw Suman's reflection. He looked sad and lost. "Help me," he whispered. "Find my family, clear my name." Mahi felt a surge of sympathy for Suman. She vowed to help him. She reached out to touch the mirror. A jolt of electricity surged through her. She was flooded with visions. She saw Suman's life. She saw his death. She understood his pain. She felt his anger. She was determined to help him find peace. Section 8. The search for Suman's heirs. Mahi spent weeks researching. She pored over old records. She tracked down distant relatives. Finally, she found them. Suman had a niece. She lived far away. She had no idea about Blackwood Manor. She was shocked to learn of her uncle's fate. Mahi brought her to the house. She showed her Suman's journals. She explained everything. Suman's niece was heartbroken. She vowed to honor his memory. Together, they would set things right. Section 9. Restoring Blackwood Manor. The house was in ruins, but Suman's niece was determined to restore it. She hired workers. They repaired the roof. They painted the walls. The house was slowly coming back to life. Light filled the rooms once more. The garden bloomed again. The air felt lighter. The supernatural activity ceased. The whispers faded. The shadows disappeared. Suman's spirit was at peace. Blackwood Manor was no longer a place of fear. It was a place of hope. Section 10. Suman's legacy. Suman's niece decided to turn the house into a museum. She wanted to honor her uncle's memory. She wanted to share his story with the world. People came from all over to visit. They learned about Suman's life. They heard about his tragic death. They felt the house's transformation. Blackwood Manor became a symbol of hope. It showed that even in the darkest of times, justice can prevail. Suman's legacy lived on. Section 11. A house redeemed. The old house on Harbinger Lane stood tall, its walls whispering tales of a bygone era. Once a symbol of dread, it had seen countless seasons of neglect and fear. But now, it was no longer a place of fear. The sun's rays pierced through the once darkened windows, filling the rooms with warmth and hope. It was a place of remembrance. The garden, once overrun with weeds, now bloomed with vibrant flowers, each petal a tribute to the past. It was a place of peace. Birds chirped harmoniously, and the gentle rustling of leaves created a symphony of serenity. Suman's spirit was finally at rest. The once tormented soul had found solace, his presence now a gentle whisper in the wind. His story served as a warning. Betrayal has consequences. Justice will be served. The ancient scrolls and the gavel stood as symbols of the justice that had been meted out. The villagers no longer whispered about the house. Their hushed tones had transformed into open conversations, filled with respect and understanding. They spoke of Suman with respect. They remembered his kindness. They honored his memory. Community gatherings were now held in his honor, celebrating the man who had once been misunderstood. Blackwood Manor was a testament to the power of truth. Its grand halls echoed with stories of redemption and the triumph of light over darkness. It was a reminder that even in the face of darkness, light can prevail. The sunrise over the manor symbolized new beginnings, a beacon of hope for all who passed by. Families now gathered on its lawns, children played without fear, and laughter filled the air. The house, once a symbol of sorrow, had been redeemed. The memorial plaque stood as a silent guardian, reminding everyone of the journey from darkness to light. It was a story of redemption, a house redeemed.